Do you have an exotic that you love to use, but it's just not meta? That's why we're starting this series, Neglected to Effective, where we take unpopular exotics and see if we can turn them into something special. We'll determine if the exotic should remain unpopular, or if it's secretly viable. Welcome to Neglected to Effective. Welcome back to another episode of Neglected to Effective. Just a reminder, leave a comment if you have a suggestion for an exotic you'd like to see, and we'll see if we can make a good build out of it. Today we have a couple of suggestions to use the Sweet Business, and preferably on Titan. And this is usually paired with Actium War Rig, but we're going to switch things up a little bit. If you're unfamiliar with Sweet Business, sustained fire boosts range and rate of fire, and then it also has increased accuracy when firing from the hip, and then picking up ammo reloads the weapon. It also occasionally fires an explosive shot, and then the Catalyst grants 25% flinch resistance when fully spun up. Like I said before, this weapon pairs nicely with Actium War Rig, and that's what most people use when they use Sweet Business. But with the current artifact mod Targeting Autoloader, we can have a similar effect to Actium War Rig, and this will grant us another option for an exotic. Targeting Autoloader reads, while you have an auto rifle equipped, defeating combatants reloads your equipped weapon, and temporarily increases weapon damage. It awards bonus progress when dealing final blows while surrounded, and this allows Sweet Business to continuously shoot as long as we're defeating enemies. Actium War Rig, on the other hand, refills the magazine gradually without the need for a kill, so keep that in mind. Now the exotic taking Actium War Rig's place will be Hazardous Propulsion, scoring a precision kill, 4 weapon kills, or filling up a counter through precision hits. Grants a stack of Exodus rockets up to a max of 6 stacks. And then when we use our class ability, it consumes all the stacks and fires a homing kinetic rocket per stack. It also grants increased rocket weapon damage for 10 seconds based on the amount of hits, and that's up to 35%. Keep in mind that rocket assisted sidearms work with this buff, and we'll want to take advantage of that by using Indebted Kindness or a Baron action. Now the reason we're using this is because Sweet Business can build up Exodus rocket stacks very quickly. Every precision hit for auto rifles is 15% of a stack, so about every 7 precision hits we'll be getting a stack of Exodus rockets. And since we'll be doing a lot of sustained fire with Sweet Business, we'll be taking advantage of sustained fire, which grants 40% damage resist when we land 10 auto rifle hits on one target. Now moving on to our subclass, we'll be using Prismatic, and for our first aspect we'll be using Consecration. While sliding, activate your charged melee to launch a solar wave of energy that damages and scorches targets in front of you as you leap in the air. And then while we're airborne, we can activate our charged melee again to slam to the ground and create a second larger wave that ignites scorched targets. And we'll be pairing this with the Frenzied Blade melee, as it grants us 3 melee charges, and this will allow us to use Consecration more frequently. And this also works very well while we're Transcendent. And for our second aspect, we have Drenger's Lash. Activate your barricade to create a ripple that travels forward along the ground, suspending and damaging the targets it hits. And this works really well with Hazardous Propulsion, especially against unstoppable champions. The suspend usually happens before the rockets hit, so it will stun and do a good chunk of damage to the champion. And we'll be using the Rally Barricade since it has the shortest cooldown, and it also provides plus 30 stability, plus 100 reload speed, 10% increased damage fall-off distance, and 50% flinch resistance when standing behind the barricade. Now moving on to our fragments, these really bring the build to the next level. Up first we have Facet of Grace. Kinetic weapon kills grant an additional 2% Transcendence energy, and then super kills also grant an additional 2% Transcendence energy to you and nearby allies. And this build is all about getting Transcendence as frequently as possible, as it allows us to do some ability spam, and particularly Consecration. And to make Sweet Business even better, we'll be using Facet of Solitude. Landing rapid precision hits emits a Severing Blast, and then when we're Transcendent, that Severing Blast is bigger. This is mainly for enemies with more health. It will take about 30 hits with Sweet Business to proc the Severing Blast, and if you're unfamiliar, Sever decreases enemies' outgoing damage by 40%. Up next we have Facet of Hope, which grants us 60% additional class ability regeneration rate when we have an elemental buff, and we want our barricade as frequently as possible so we can use Hazardous Propulsion. And then we have Facet of Ruin, which will make our solar ignitions have a greater area of effect, and it will also increase the size and damage of the burst when we shatter a stasis crystal. And the increased ignitions will be very nice for Consecration, and then we'll be using Glacial Quake as our super to take advantage of the stasis crystal shatter. And another reason for using Glacial Quake is pairing it with Facet of Purpose, which will give us Frost Armor when we pick up an orb, and I personally think Frost Armor is one of the best options weapons. It has the longest buff duration, but you can use a different super if you prefer a different survivability buff. And for our last fragment, we'll be using Faceted Protection for 15% damage resistance when we're surrounded. As for your weapons, I recommend a Baron Action with Incandescent, but feel free to use any rocket sidearm as it pairs nicely with Hazardous Propulsion. And for your heavy, you'll want a rocket launcher. And for your artifact mods, Targeting Autoloader and Sustain Fire are a must. And then I recommend Radiant Orbs for more damage, Shield Crush for faster melee and grenade recharge and damage, depending on what buff we have, and then Galvanic Armor for 30% damage resist when we're amplified. And you can pair this with the Pulse Grenade, and you'll also get amplified from your Transcendence Grenade. And then we'll want Solar Fulmination to increase our Ignition's damage. And finally, Elemental Siphon for elemental pickups that match our equip super when we get rapid final blows with our Sweet Business. For our armor mods, on our class item, we'll want Utility Kickstart to have our Barricade up more frequently for Hazardous Propulsion, and then Reaper for more orb generation, and Powerful Attraction to pick up orbs when we use our Barricade. And then on our boots, Kinetic Weapon Surge for 10% increased damage for our Sweet Business, Recuperation for help on orb pickup, and then Innervation for 10% grenade cooldown on orb pickup. And then on our chest piece, just use whatever damage resistance mods that you'd like. On the gauntlets, we'll want Heavy Handed for orbs on our melee final blows, and this includes Consecration, and then we'll want Momentum Transfer for melee cooldown when we do damage with a grenade, and then Focusing Strike for class ability Energy when we cause damage with a powered melee attack. Finally on our helmet, Kinetic Siphon, and Special Ammo Finder and Scout. And that's everything for the build. Enjoy the gameplay. Alright, we have the Broken Deep Master Law Sector, we have Overcharged Rocket Launcher, Void and Solar Surge, Strength Threat, and then Overload and Unstoppable Champions. And for our weapons, we're obviously using Sweet Business. And we have a rocket sidearm and a rocket launcher. This Lost Sector, it's definitely not my favorite. Probably my least favorite. So we'll see how this goes. Feels like we're using Actium War Rig because of the artifact mods. It's nice. It's nice we're able to use another exotic. Alright, we have Transcendence, I'm going to use it. Sort of a good combo there. Take care of both these champions. Alright. Yeah, this build's all about getting Transcendent as quickly as possible, and Sweet Business does a really good job at doing that. Gonna go crazy with Sweet Business again. Nothing special. Can use this, it should stun him, do good damage. Use a rocket on him as well. Gotta be careful with this guy. Get the heal clip going. Up Transcendence here. Oh, I thought I saw the champion go the other way. Stun him here. To rocket. Use my super here, just because we got more ads spawning. Gotta be careful here. No. Low. Okay, we're good. Alright. So far, so good. The last room is what I'm worried about, mainly. Have to reload. Ah, we're good. Should have done my barricade first. It's all good. Alright. The last room. This room's it's pretty hard. It's pretty awkward. So we'll see how the build does. Got ad spawn and a champion right next to us. Need to get this orb. Some help. This boss is gonna one-hit us most likely. Depending on the attack he does, he can one-hit us, I think, because of strand threat. Use this. I'm gonna pop Transcendence. Probably wasn't the best use of Transcendence, but we're alive. That's all that matters. Rocket here. No, not like this. I'm using my super just because we need to stay alive. Oh, we are low. I'm gonna do this. Gotta be very careful here. Oh no. No, not like this. Okay, we're good. Gotta be careful. Yeah, we got him. Kind of surprised we didn't die in that room. Not bad. Alright, now we'll get into the star ratings of the build. Alright, for the endgame potential, we'll give this a 4-star. We have multiple sources to deal with champions, we have high transcendence uptime, and then we also have multiple sources of damage resistance. And for the ad clear, we'll give this a 5-star. Sweet Business is super good at taking care of ads, especially paired with targeting autoloader. And for the DPS, we'll give us a 3-star. We have some potential with our rockets to do decent damage, but that's about it. For the survivability, we'll give us a 3.5-star. We have multiple sources of damage resistance, and we can also get health on orb pickup. This build isn't designed for survivability, but it does pretty well. And for fun, we'll give it a 5-star. Mowing enemies down with Sweet Business and using Transcendence frequently is a lot of fun. That's it for this one. A like and a sub go a long way, and I will see you in the next one.